It's our first time ever in Italy, and over the next month, we'll be exploring this country from top to bottom. But first, we're starting our journey in a city we really knew very little about before visiting, Milan. After marveling at its famous Duomo and its breathtaking rooftops, strolling the historic castle almost all to ourselves, and standing in awe before Da Vinci's Last Supper, Milan quickly became one of our favorite cities in all of Italy. Buongiorno from Milano. We're here in front of the Duomo. It is our first morning here in Milan and we are so excited to be in Italy.
Yeah, I typically love to get out and go for an early morning run, usually within our first day or two, just to get myself acquainted with the surroundings, figure out what's around, and take in the sights when there's not a lot of people.
Yeah, we were here last night and the piazza was full. And right now, there's hardly anybody here. And we will be back here later today for our tour of the Duomo. But for now, we're gonna continue on our morning run, go grab some breakfast, and then I think start walking around and seeing what else there is to see. Really excited to be here. We are cleaned up and ready to explore. So we have a couple of things on the list here. We're gonna take a nice walk around town, kind of get further acquainted with Milan.
Ian has a few sites picked out for us to stop along, as well as potentially stop in a museum and grab a bite to eat.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Let's go.
As we're doing this trip through Italy, please forgive us for any mispronunciation of things. We are not bi, tri, or quadlingual or anything like that.
We're working on it. We're not quite there, and I'm Italian, so I feel doubly bad. But we are just now leaving the Basilica di Sant'Ambrogio, and it was really beautiful. I loved the red brickwork. It was really different than some of the churches that we've seen even over this past year.
And what I noticed was like the reverence of history and historical relics, and I thought that was really cool. I've never seen a crypt where you could see the martyr that was lying in the tomb. So I love history. I love learning new things. And that was really eye-opening in this whole thing, reading all the little placards. Some of my trips to museums take a little bit longer.
A lot longer, but no, it was really special to be there. We walked up just at noon when the bells were going off, and I felt like that was kind of like set the scene.
So great.
So that was really great. And so now we are going to be walking over to Piazza Mercanti. So excited to see what's over there.
I'm assuming Merchant Square.
Sounds about right.
All right, here we go.
So much beautiful architecture in Milan. And then, you know, some days you might not be feeling it. And then there's this. So crazy. This place is awesome.
For as wild as the streets are around this area, it's actually quieter in here, and I don't know if you can just hear the roar. It sounds like what a shopping mall used to sound like in the 90s.
That's really true. It's absolutely beautiful. This is the fashion icon capital of the world, right? And this is where it all happens. So it's kind of cool to be in the quadrangle, and the architecture is beautiful.
Yes.
I'm not one for fashion, clearly, but the architecture is really impressive.
Clara, we are thinking of you constantly as we are traveling to Milan. Can't wait for you to experience it yourself.
Definitely. We We just checked in for our tour of the Duomo. It's Milan's most famous landmark, and it's one of the largest cathedrals in the whole world. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. And awesome. We get to go on the rooftops too, which is really cool. So I'm looking forward to that view.
Yeah, got the Secret Service earbud in.
Oh, we got it in. We're ready
for our first walking tour ever.
I know, it's gonna be fun.
It's beautiful. You can't see all this stuff from down the ground level.
You can't. I see how intricate everything is from down this. Wow.
So interesting.
We're on the roof.
It's really
the Duomo. Top of the Duomo, and it really is impressive up here. They're doing a lot of work to make sure that it stays preserved as well. Yeah. And of course, being one of the biggest attractions in Milan, there are some...
And the largest cathedral in Italy, technically.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit wild up here, but it is amazing. The intricacies on all of these different statues and spires. I think she said 125 spires. It's wild. Over 3,000 statues in this cathedral. Amazing. We just came down all these stairs, and it just dropped us out into the middle of this beautiful cathedral. We just finished our Duomo tour, and that was awesome. What did you think, Danny?
I absolutely loved it. I mean, it was so beautiful in there, although I will say the crowds and the people for me is a little difficult to deal with, and so I'm really glad that when we got away, we only walked about 2 streets away, and you managed to find alleyways like this that are just nice and quiet and peaceful once again.
Yes, absolutely beautiful. Glad we did it.
Yeah, loved it.
Absolutely amazing.
And now I'm looking forward to rest and then dinner.
I think that's a really good plan. Maybe a little nap time, and then let's grab some food.
Awesome.
And while it was a good plan, the weather had its own idea.
So,
I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it is raining.
Thunder and lightning.
Thunder and lightning, and
we're gonna get takeout pizza from around the corner at this wonderful restaurant and enjoy the B&B for the night and Riviera tomorrow night for dinner.
Sounds good. We'll see you in the morning instead. Final day here in Milan, and I gotta tell you, we are at the most perfect Airbnb. So we're right here, and the Castello Sforzesco is right in front of us. So this is such a great location, and we're so excited about that. So I'm just gonna hop across the street here. And we're here. Not a long commute. This place is so impressive, and we're seeing a lot of the red brick that we've been seeing around Milan, and we learned yesterday that it's because it's a lot less expensive to build with brick, especially since there's no mountains or quarries close by. So in comparison to the Duomo, which they said was a really expensive project, most of Milan you see this beautiful red brick, and it's stunning. I love it. So we're just even in the first courtyard here, and this place is massive. And I'm so glad we came early this morning because there's hardly anybody here. So the courtyard that we're currently in was thought of as a last line of defense. It was a little fortress within the fortress so that if invaders had gotten in, they'd be able to still defend themselves from this point. It's absolutely beautiful. There's still a lot of the old decorations on the walls that you can see. Some of it's been plastered over, but it's cool to kind of see and imagine what it must have looked like back in its day. Danny just said he wanted his photo taken before all the tourists come in. So this is your moment, Danny.
You gotta do the walk when you're Milan.
Man, we came at just the right time. All the tour groups are now arriving. So that is definitely a great tip. The Castello Sforzesco opens at 7 a.m. Highly recommend get here in the early morning. It's so nice to be able to explore some of these really big landmarks without all the crowds. So that was awesome. I'm really glad we did that. So the castle actually opens up the back gate into the park that we've been running in. It's really beautiful. There's just these great walking paths, outdoor gym sections, people riding their bikes, walking their dogs. It's been awesome. So it's a gorgeous park, and we're hoping to find, what are you looking for today? A cornetto? We have not had one of those yet.
I don't know. I saw this place this morning on my jog and give it a shot.
Let's do it. Oh my gosh, we just have the most delicious breakfast. All under, what, $9?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, look at this. Couple cappuccino, espresso.
So good. And we finally are having our first cornetto. Danny, what did you end up getting?
Salami and gorgonzola.
That's awesome. So we're continuing our morning walk, and we've made it down to Arco della Place. And it's this beautiful arch, and it just perfectly frames the street ahead. So we're walking around to the other side though, because I believe we can look back and see all the way to the castle where we were this morning.
We are out for the afternoon exploring. What's this little area?
We are currently in the neighborhood of Brera.
We're looking for some food.
Yes. Oh, we've already passed by some really good pizza places, but we're gonna try this place up here. Oh my gosh, I got some gnocchi. It's one of my favorite Italian dishes, and it's my first one in Italy. This is so good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That was so good.
Honestly, one of the best meals I think I've had. That was amazing.
Yeah. So when we initially booked our trip to Italy, we were actually trying to figure out how to get into Zermatt, Switzerland, and Milan just happened to be the best path to get here, and we just didn't know what to expect. Milan wasn't necessarily on our bucket list of destinations, but we were never going to snub our nose at a chance to explore the city. And so Leanne started doing some research of the various landmarks, and that's when she had discovered that the Last Supper is actually here in the city. And now we're really excited to go see a masterpiece.
Truly, yeah. It's a great word for it.
Of Leonardo da Vinci painted on this wall. This may be a bit of a no-brainer, but we love chocolate just like everybody else, and we saw a little chocolate place on our way to our next stop.
We didn't get too far since we last talked to you.
Ho detto il 24 è il giorno dei record.
It's really good. Really good. Good stop.
So we were just informed that we cannot take video while we're in there, but we are allowed to take pictures, so enjoy this little brief montage of our experience.
We were surprised to learn that the Last Supper had survived a bombing in World War II. We entered the hall and were told to take a look at the painting to the left first to see the typical work of the times, and then we turned around to see the Last Supper. It draws you in and is so much bigger than we expected. They keep the room very controlled, only 35 people at a time, to keep the temperature and humidity down. And we learned afterwards the extensive lengths they go through to keep this masterpiece preserved. Wow.
To actually be in the presence of something that is so large, so iconic.
It was, yeah, I mean, man, I had chills. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we did that.
Absolutely. All right,
So,
well, let's go.
we're gonna keeping with the theme of
walking.
of walking. We are gonna head over to the Canal District and yeah, just take a lap around there. Maybe a gelato. I don't know. We'll see. We made it down to the Canal District and we're just gonna walk around, explore, probably grab some more food and just enjoy our night here, our last night in Milan, which will end, of course, at the Duomo, just to take it in one last time.
Yeah, and then tomorrow starts our 20-some-odd day road trip around Italy, and we hope that you subscribe and follow along for our journey.